No, that's not,
Not control, but there is a circle.
No.
Some hormonal control.
No, that's not proved, that's what I'm coming.
I just want to mention that there is genes and there are gene expressions, or where the gene expresses. And the current research that I have recently attended a lecture where they show that the gene expressions are changing based on your psychological state. If you are depressed, certain genes that should not express are expressing in very large number. And even that they're going further in the research saying that if you have constant negative stress, that ultimately, because of your defense mechanism, will drive to bone marrow, and bone marrow will produce more myeloid cells rather than producing good cells, and physiologically you will change. So like we say, Arthro Dhyan and Rodra Dhyan, that Arthro Dhyan and Rodra Dhyan, they are almost proving that it is changing physiologically your body, and then it is
And
affected.
perhaps the genes also.
Because the genes are expressions, and then of course genes are changing.
So absolutely agreeing with you that the genes, one is genetic expression and another is what is called a phenotypic expression. What is the outward expression? I may be a very calm and quiet person, but when it comes to a threat, I may prove to be a very hostile. And opposite way, I am a hostile, but when my child falls in, I become a timid. So it's a phenotypic and the genetic phenotypic, these are the two different, and they both are very, very different.
Does Jainism theoretically, not science, does Jainism theoretically believe in Jagran of Kundalini? Does it believe that Kundalini actually activates, clearing your chakras, go to your crown chakra, opens and you get enlightenment? Does Mahavira really believe in Kundalini? Because Patanjali and other contemporary Tibetan, Chinese, Patanjali all believe in Kundalini. Why is Mahavira kept shut about Kundalini?
That's what I am saying. It's a Kundalini, what they talked of the spinal cord. See what it is basically simply, I didn't have that diagram right now. From a spinal cord, the tail of the spinal cord. From the caudal means which is touching my feet and the genitalia. From that it has gone up to the neocortex.
Correct.
So that is Jagran. And the neocortex also, what we are talking is that with the meditation, we go from the reptilian to the mammalian to the neocortex.
No, I agree. Scientifically, I'm asking theoretically, does Mahavira believe in Kundalini? સાડા ત્રણ આટામાં ઘૂંટાયેલી છે, પછી અન્વીલ થાય છે.
No, he didn't talk of this Kundalini, but he talked of the enlightening. So first I'll request Samnik Amal Pragya ji to talk to us on one of the important thing which we always say, forgiveness.
His Holiness Lord Maharam, honorable speakers and dear delegates. My topic is promoting forgiveness through Preksha meditation. Anger is a natural emotion. When it gets out of control and destructive, it can lead problems in our relationships. Anger not only affects our personal relationships, it also badly affects our physical, mental and spiritual health. Forgiveness is antagonism of anger. To get control over anger, one has to develop forgiveness. Usually we heard this word in our text, spiritual text. Today I want to discuss a small research which I did on this forgiveness, how we can develop forgiveness through Preksha meditation. So first of all, we should understand the meaning of forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness, a beautiful, virtuous, honorable and theological concept. It involves letting go of negative thoughts, feeling and behavior toward an offender, and may include developing a positive perspective toward the offender. Preksha meditation is a world-prevailed meditation technique through which one can develop forgiveness of oneself. My research, the present research, aims to study whether Maitriki Anupreksha, that is contemplation of amity, a major component of Preksha meditation, has its impact of forgiveness or not. For this research, what material and method I have used? First of all, I selected 156 female around in age of 19 to 25 years with no experience of doing meditation earlier, and they were selected on the process of randomization. After selection of that group was split in two groups, one named as control group in which 79 subjects were taken, another group named as the experimental group, 77 subjects were taken in it. The experimental group practiced the Preksha meditation for 4 months regularly, half an hour per day, except on Sunday and holidays. That experimental group have adopted Preksha meditation capsule. In that capsule, we have taken 4 things. The first was Mahapuran Dhvani for 5 minutes, then relaxation for 5 minutes, then long breathing for 5 minutes, and then contemplation of MET for 15 minutes. And the control group was completely aloof from this capsule. Data was recorded in the groups for every P, post 1 and post 2, that was 0 month, after 2 months and after 4 months of experiment. The test and tools we have adopted in this research was, the level of forgiveness was assessed using the forgiveness scale, which was published by National Psychological Corporation, Agra. And after assessing the results, the data, we got the results, and first that was intra-group comparison. In that inter-group comparison, we have noticed in control group there was minor changes in that, and that was not at all significantly. But in experimental group, we noticed a major change. In 0 month, we have noticed the mean was 81.19, and then after 2 months, it raised to 90.43, and after 4 months, it was 94.88. And this change we found 0 to 2 month, at 2 to 4 month, it was statistically significant at 0.01 level. And intergroup comparison, in this you can see that in control group it was slightly minor change. In this 0 group, I think there was some missing. I forgot to put the value. But in the experimental group, we found a statistically significant change in it. So, for assessing this, the t-test was used for evaluating the effect of PM on forgiveness, and significant improvement we found. And the conclusion of my small research was, as we all know that in contemplation, what we do, we pronounce a single statement for many times. So what happened when we repeating a single statement, then that single statement hits our subconscious brain, and there it starts transformation. In this, we also notice that when we are practice the Preksha meditation capsule, in that contemplation of MET, we are continuously pronouncing a single thing, that is my forgiveness, my level of forgiveness is increasing, my level of forgiveness is increasing. And that hits the subconscious brain, and there it starts transformation, and that's why we found a statistically significant change after 4 months. So findings suggest that the regular practice of contemplation of MET, that was component of pre-M, can enrich the graph of forgiveness. So it was a small research what I have did, and I found that a contemplation of anything, if we want to control our anger, if we want to control our ego, we can practice contemplation, and that contemplation definitely will give a positive change. So in this research, we practiced the contemplation of MET, and it gave a positive change, and it enriched the level of forgiveness. That was my whole thing. Thank you so much.
Now I invite Dr. D.C. Jain from Jodhpur, a professor of Sanskrit. He has a strong hold in Prakritic language and area of research in Jainism and Buddhism.
Salutation to pure souls, Honorable Dice, and respected audience. My topic is concept of consciousness in Jainism. Philosophy is the root cause of origination and development of science. I think so, because philosophy gives ideas for inventions and experiments. But there is a basic difference between science and philosophy. That science has made its field of experiments on matter, Pudgal, only, whereas philosophy has much wider field of knowledge and formless entities like soul. if we think about the concept of consciousness according to the various branches of science, then consciousness can be defined as the activity of sense organs, mind, brain, and the cells. And when consciousness is defined according to Jaina philosophy, then it is an attribute of a soul which could not be known through the empirical or materialistic instruments. The word consciousness is used mainly in two meanings. First, alertness or awareness, and second, feeling of livingness, chetana. In Jainism, apramad word is used in the sense of alertness, and upayog, pran, sangya, vedana, etc. for the feeling of livingness. In Jainism, a soul is considered as the ultimate source of consciousness. Consciousness is the very nature of a soul with or without body. If the soul departs from the body, sense organs and brain do not work. The body is called dead. So it is a question for the scientists that how the consciousness arises and how it vanishes. Where does it come from and where does it go? Except the Charvak thinkers, all the branches of Indian philosophy accept a concept of soul, which is the source of consciousness. Nyaya and Vaisheshik philosophers mention soul as omnipresent, but they accept its consciousness limited to body. Vedant philosophers propound omnipresent Brahma and living beings as its part Chaitanyansh. Buddhist philosophers do not accept soul as eternal entity. They accept a flow of consciousness which is called Vijnan or Chitta. Jain philosophy is specific in this regard. It stresses that the soul of living being resides within a body. Every living being is having a different or independent soul. A soul is a knower. Sense organs, mind and brain are the instruments for knowing the objects. This soul has a nature of consciousness which serves consciousness in different parts of the body, including brain, nervous system, and every cell. It is difficult to define a soul, but consciousness is the very nature of a soul. According to Uttaradhyan Sutra, soul has been defined as nanam cha dansanam cheva charitam cha tavotaha viryam ubogoya eyam jiva salakhanam. Uttaradhyan Sutra, according to Uttaradhyan Sutra, knowledge, intuition or observation, darshan, conduct, charitra, penance, tap, internal power, virya, and cognitive application, upayog, are the nature of a soul. We can know soul through its attributes or activities. Knowledge and observation, darshan, are the main characteristics of a soul. In Vyakhya Pragyapti Sutra, it is stated that a soul is knowledge and knowledge is a soul. Soul is darshan and darshan is a soul. In this way, the nature of a soul can be defined as knowledge and observation or intuition, darshan. Application of these two is called as upayoga. This upayoga is consciousness. Consciousness can be technically termed as upayoga in Jainism. Upayoga is an application of cognitive and intuitive ability of a soul. Consciousness is Vedana, consciousness expressed in virya or enthusiasm. In this way, there are many levels of or kinds of consciousness experienced by a living being. A pure and complete consciousness is found in the liberated souls, having destroyed the 8 karmas, and in pious souls, having destroyed the 4 ghati karmas, namely Jnanavaran, Darshanavaran, Mohini, and Antaraya. Mostly living beings on the earth are having karmic bondage, hence the consciousness is not fully manifested in them. There are 6 categories of the living beings on the basis of variation in manifestation of the consciousness. The living beings having only one tactile sense organ are the lowest in manifestation of their consciousness. 2 sensed beings can manifest more consciousness than 1 sensed. 3 sensed beings more than the 2 sensed beings. In this way, 5 sensed beings are able to manifest more consciousness. The being having mind with the 5 sense organs are quite more able in expressing consciousness. The human beings possessing a right view can express more consciousness. The degree of consciousness increases in the experience of pious conduct and character. In Jainism, a holy monk with 5 Mahavratas, 5 Samitis, and 3 Guptis bears more vividness in consciousness. A monk having alertness in every activity expresses more consciousness. In this way, living with alertness shows high level of consciousness. A laity man having 5 small vows is also on the path to live with better consciousness than a layman, if he is alert in doing activity with awareness. Upyog denotes the cognitive function of a living being, and upyog is of 2 kinds. Knowing is knowing in an articulate form and knowing in inarticulate form, nirvikalpak. Jnana and darshan are the key factors of upyog or cognitive function. In Nandi Sutra and other texts of Jain philosophy, 5 types of knowledges are mentioned as mati jnana, sensuous knowledge; shrut jnana, scriptural or verbal knowledge; avdhi jnana, visual intuition; manhaparyaya jnana, intuition of mental modes; and keval jnana, pure and perfect knowledge. Among these knowledges, mati jnana appears in the soul through sense organs or mind or by both. Sense organs and mind are the instruments. Consciousness comes in these organs from the soul. Mati jnana or abhinibodhi jnana includes recognition, thinking, reasoning, intellect, and inference in it. Knowledge of former birth, jati smaran jnana, is also a phenomenon of mati jnana. 4 types of intellect, Atpatiki, Vainiki, Karmaja, and Parinamiki, are also the part of mati jnana. All intellectual activities of a person denote consciousness. Shruti jnana appears in a living being as verbal knowledge or as discriminative knowledge, viveka jnana. Discriminative knowledge is a significant nature of consciousness. Avdhi jnana, manhaparyaya jnana, and keval jnana appear directly in a soul. Through avdhi jnana, material world can be known without the use of sense organs and mind. Manhaparyaya jnana is also direct knowledge by which mental modes of others are known by a conscious monk. Keval jnana is a pure and perfect knowledge with which everything and its every mode is perceived lucidly. Knowledge illuminates itself as well as the object. In Niyamsar, Acharya Kundukund propounds the self-luminosity of knowledge. He says, Appanam vinu nanam, nanam vinu appago na sandeho, tamha sapar payasam, nanam taha dansanam hodi. Knowledge is not without a soul, and soul is not without knowledge. It is doubtless. Knowledge means pragya. It is doubtless wisdom. It is doubtless, hence, knowledge is, wisdom is self and object illuminating. Darshan is also self and object illuminating like knowledge. Darshan is also a significant term in Jain scriptures to denote consciousness. It is an inarticulate cognition with which is succeeded by articulate cognition, knowledge. There are 4 types of darshan. Chakshu darshan, inarticulate cognition through eyes. Achakshu darshan, inarticulate cognition through mind and sense organs other than eyes. Avdhi darshan, inarticulate cognition directly by soul, succeeded by avdhi jnana. Keval darshan, inarticulate cognition or intuition directly by a soul, succeeded by keval jnana. Every soul has an essential attribute of inarticulate cognition and articulate cognition. Both of these cognitive attributes are manifested as consciousness in a sequence of inarticulate and articulate manner. The scientists have explored the system of knowing through sense organs and their link with the nervous system and brain, but they do not have reached up to the source of consciousness. There are 4 stages of knowing the material objects through sense organs: avagraha, iha, avaya, and dharana. Avagraha is a primary knowledge in which an object is known without its specific properties. Iha is a knowledge having inclination to the object with its property, and the ascertaining knowledge about the object is called avaya. So these are the 4 stages of mati jnana, and these are important for a learning process. This principle is useful in the educational psychology. Avagraha, iha, avaya, and dharana. This is a psychological science of learning, that if a learning process is up to retention, then memory takes place. Without retention, memory cannot take place. Consciousness is prana. There are 10 types of pranas. In Jainism, 5 sense organs. मन, वचन, and kaya bal pran. Shwasochwas bal pran, it's mean respiration, and ayushya karma. These 4 pranas are there. When there is any assassination of a jeev, then the pranas are harmed or damaged, destroyed, but soul is safe. There is no harm to soul. There is a harm only to pranas. 10 types of pranas. When a person goes to death, then pranas are destroyed, no soul. So pranas give consciousness to a living being. So this is also a concept of Jainism, prana. We are discussing only soul. The scholars previously presented in their paper that soul is only the source and soul is the consciousness, but prana is prana also denotes consciousness. And there are 10 types. One thing I have to clarify you about mind. Mind is made of matter, but it has quality of thinking and desiring. Hence, mind also bears consciousness. A conscious mind is a very useful for a real development of human being. It is controlled or arrested. Neurologists talk about brain and accept that mind is a product of brain. But I think that mind can be a function of brain, because Jain scholars do not mention about brain. They do not mention brain, but they stress on man, and man can be a function of brain. And because there is a statement in Vyakhya Pragyapti Sutra, it is stated that where is man? तो मन इज मणिज्यमाणे मणे. जब मनन किया जाता है तभी मन होता है. When we think, then there is a man. If we don't think, then there is not man. But in later text of Shwetambar and Digambar, according to Shwetambar Jain text, the mind is separate entity and pervaded in the whole body. Whereas Digambar text accept its shape as 8-feathered lotus flower and its residence in the heart only. But in Vyakhya Pragyapti Sutra, it has been stated that it depends on the thinking process. Man sachitta hai yachitta. In this respect, there is a question in Vyakhya Pragyapti Sutra. Sachitte bhante mane, goima no sachitte mane, achitte mane. Man is unconscious. It is not conscious in its nature. Sangya is also another concept. There are 4 sangyas: ahar sangya, bhaya sangya, maithun sangya, and parigraha sangya. These 4 sangyas are experienced in every living being, including in the plants. But these are not pudgalas. These are not matter. Vedana is another technical term of Jainism which denotes an experience of happiness and sorrow, coldness and hotness, etc. Consciousness as virya. Enthusiasm is also a significant nature of consciousness. A living being feels enthusiasm within him to do something. I am presenting now conclusion. Science has reached in its research up to consciousness of brain, cells and genes, and it has proved the cells of the body are changing every moment. Body cells are renewed in a certain time interval, hence food is needed for this activity of change. This gross body cannot survive without food. According to Jainism, animation is gross body, brain, genes, etc. is found due to consciousness of the soul. In the presence of a soul, all of these work consciously. Food is needed. Why food is needed? एक दिन अगर कोई उपवास करता है तो लगता है चेतना कमज़ोर हो गई. 3 दिन उपवास करता है लगता है चेतना कमज़ोर हो गई. There is weakness. We feel weakness in our consciousness. तो where does come from this चेतना, this consciousness? तो इसकी